Librarians are enormous and sentient monsters, named by the residents of the metro system because of their home environment, the Moscow State Library. Only found in a selected part of the book, and in the games, they are among the most frightening and mighty enemies Artyom encounters in Metro 2033. They are used as the culminating enemy for the Ranger Apprentice in Metro, Last Light, Kshatriya. Additionally, they appear in the Tower Pack of Metro, Last Light, at the end of the simulation area, where the player fights 3 of them individually. In both canons, Librarians are much less disfigured than other Metro mutants, and are similar to normal gorillas both in posture and general physical appearance, but they are also much larger and have longer, skinnier arms. Their somewhat humanoid faces have a shark-like lip covering their teeth and snout. That is thanks to the nose and the upper lip merging through successive generations. They are highly territorial and will fight against anything that looks threatening. As most modern primates, they show signs of aggression by roaring and raising their upper lip, showing off their teeth. They are so powerful and territorial that sometimes they will even fight a demon if it enters the library. Renowned as some of the most dangerous monsters dwelling in the Moscow wastelands, Librarians are very challenging foes, resilient enough to withstand multiple point-blank rounds from weapons like the duplex. Their attacks can also kill Artyom and Kshatriya's stalker with swift and vicious sweeps. Fairly agile and able to perform high leaps across buildings despite their size, they can shred a human easily with their claws. They are some of the most intelligent mutants, if not the most, that can be found in the lore. They also appear to be omnivores. They usually have large quantities of plants in several areas around the library. Where the Librarians fit into the ecology of apocalyptic Moscow is completely unknown on account of their fairly reclusive behavior. Nonetheless, because Librarians are among the few mutants with the capability and power to battle demons, they are probably apex predators. Other than the humans and the Dark Ones, they are among the most intelligent entities. Librarians have very unique abilities that come from their origins. They can memorize small bits of literature, set traps, and are even able to semi-communicate through eye contact. Back in Metro, Last Light, Bar, and Sue hear about a librarian who can seemingly utter short sentences about overdue books. In the novel, a librarian who has just shot Daniel mimics Artyom's speech and presumably says "go away." It's hinted the librarian said that on purpose, but it may have just been an impersonation. Despite showing extremely aggressive behavior when engaging humans, Librarians generally appear to be secluded, avoiding confrontation whenever they can. Unlike other mutants such as demons, vigilantes, and marauders, Librarians don't seem to actively hunt, propagate over, and invade other places. They prefer to remain hidden, like most humans in the metro system. This suggests that Librarians originate from humans. Gorillas are also known for their secluded nature and great strength. In contrast, the possibility that Librarians are of human ancestry is easily made valid if one takes into account that no known primate, even of the genus Hominidae, has ever developed a proper language. Librarians can speak some phrases, but they don't compose a real language. Ordinary Librarians are covered in gray fur and are present only in the Moscow State Library. These Librarians are more passive than the black ones. Artyom can demonstrate that he isn't a genuine threat by standing his ground and staring at him until he walks away. Nevertheless, if Artyom turns his back on one, he will take his chance to attack. And if Artyom charges at one, he won't stop until he's dead. Librarians don't appear in the standard Metro, Last Light campaign, but make their appearance in the Metro, Last Light DLC, the faction pack. They are found after traversing a highly irradiated area with a demon down in the area where Artyom ran into them for the first time in Metro 2033. Metro, Last Light's faction pack Librarians vary partially in physical stature from their 2033 counterparts. Whereas the Librarians previously had similarities to that of a huge gorilla, never before has the comparison been more fitting. Librarians in Metro, Last Light are bigger, notably in the arm and torso, and consistent with Nuclear Spring, have a slightly browner discoloration. Also, they display distinctly gorilla-like behavior by beating their chests. In terms of gameplay, Librarians seem to have undergone restrained changes, mostly to make them more manageable. Staring a Librarian down, previously a tactic that required some skill and patience, now is much more excruciating than before. That becomes evident when Librarians flee mid-combat, oftentimes returning moments later. At times, this can lead to moments in which they can be stared at, even after taking considerable damage. To make them easier enemies, not only can Librarians be avoided completely when sneaking around, but they also don't tolerate fire well. Straight hits to a librarian's skull have a low, but very noticeable, chance of causing the creatures to stumble, and while they still retain a considerable level of health, they've been reported to need as few as 3 shots from a shambler in Ranger hardcore difficulty to die. By contrast, in normal mode, it takes up to 20 shots to kill one with the same weapon. And perhaps to counter this, the faction pack's librarians take tremendous damage, rivaling, if not surpassing, those in 2033. In addition, even if they are armored, a good hit or two is enough to slay them on Ranger difficulty. In a DLC, the player can fight them in the final simulation area. Here, the player faces 3 of them separately. It's recommended to battle them with spawned teammates and the minigun. Players should be careful, however, as numerous noselizes can swarm them while fighting the librarians. Librarians are one of the enemies Artyom comes face to face in the books. They quickly attack Artyom, Melnik, Ten, and Daniel when they enter the main room of the library. These are depicted identically to their appearance in the game, even though they lack pointed ears. However, no black librarians or any other variations are found. Librarians are described as quasi-intelligent creatures that prey and move in packs of 2 or more individuals. Moreover, they are intelligent enough to mimic human speech with frightening accuracy, although it is unknown whether or not they know what they speak. This suggests that librarians were normal humans before the destruction of Moscow and that the severe irradiation of the city mutated them. Later on, Daniel is killed by a librarian that pierces his stomach with its claw. After Daniel's speech, the librarian mimics the words and begins to mix them up and tells Artyom to go away. Within the novel, librarians are also fond of growing huge plants as a form of agriculture, which also shows their intelligence. Unlike the book, librarians venture into the courtyard but never go farther in the games.